Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about brands. What computer brands are the better brands to buy? Okay, so with the brand side of things, I'd like to think as there's quite a few of them out there. Which one do I choose? Because there's so many of them. Now, from what I've seen with the way that I use computers, I see that some brands last longer than others. Some of them have better warranty than others. And it's all a bit of a hard thing to choose which one is which. Why should I pick one over the other? I recommend a few different brands. Things that I have used in the past to kind of figure out what's going to last longer, what's going to last shorter, and how long can I get out of a machine. Usually when in the corporate side of things, we usually replace a computer every 3 to 4 years because that's how long they last for. Nothing lasts forever. In the business world, we seem to choose brands that have that longevity type situation where you can get 3 to 4 years at least out of a machine. Sometimes you might get a little bit longer, you might get lucky with the hard drive, but usually you'll get about 3 to 4 years. These are brands like HP, Dell, Toshiba. Sometimes you might get lucky with an Acer. Most of the time you'll probably get maybe 3 years, maybe 2 at most, depending on the machine and what's it got inside. Now, thinking about what we just spoke about in the last video, where we're thinking about longevity type situation, if you want to have the longevity work for you and you want to have the computer last longer than 3 to 4 years, think about speccing the machine up to a point where it's going to last you a longer time. So you're not actually going to spend a lot of time repurchasing a new machine every year. If you spec it too low, you might be doing that. But if you spec it enough where it might last 5 years, it might last 6 years before you need to replace the machine. Giving that extra little bit of room matters a lot. If we're thinking about particular hardware to use, like monitors, graphics cards, sound cards, all that type of stuff, all the peripheral devices. Should I go for a Wi-Fi keyboard or mouse? Should I go with cabled? It just depends on the hardware and what suits your situation. Usually it's a personal preference. For me, I have a mixture of different devices that I use. Some of them are Wi-Fi, some of them are not. It just depends on what you want. Here are the brands that I would look at. For monitors, I'd look at Samsung. They seem to have a very good quality screen. Now, if you're into a cheaper screen and you don't want the quality and you want it to last maybe a few years, that's okay. Go and choose another brand. But if you want something that's going to last you years and years and years and doesn't burn out after 12 months, go and get a Samsung. If you like your hardware to last you a long time, like myself, then I would have a look at getting ASUS hardware. From what I've had with experience, they seem to last a lot longer than the Acers of the world and the Toshibas of the world. And I've had computers made by ASUS that I built, custom built, that have lasted longer than 8 years, and they still operate today. That's saying something. HP and Dell are really good brands in the corporate world as well as the home user world, because you can get really good warranty with their equipment. Depending on the other manufacturers, most manufacturers, when you buy from a retail store or a computer store, it will only come with 12 months warranty. HP and Dell, depending on the machine that you buy, does come with 3 years warranty. And that's great because that gives you that feeling that when something does go wrong with the machine, you can give it to them. As long as it's still in warranty, it doesn't cost you a thing to get fixed. Now, depending on the type of warranty that you get, you might get on-site warranty, next day service for business, or you might have to send the machine in and wait for it to get fixed. It might take a week for it to come back, but you'll get the machine fixed anyway. Hard drives make a big difference. The brand of hard drive, the type of drive that you get, whether you get solid state, mechanical, or a hybrid. Think about brand quality. Think about the brands that you've seen. If you haven't seen any brands and you're new to all of this, have a look at Western Digital. Have a look at Seagate for mechanical discs, for NAS drives, for little USB passport drives or USB sticks. The USB stick I'd recommend SanDisk because they're a great brand and their hardware is really good. For a USB drive, like the small little devices that you get, the passport drives, have a look at Western Digital. Now, don't drop them because they're very fragile. Although the SanDisk things are really good, they don't break, they last a long time. You can throw them around in your bag and it doesn't matter. If you do that with a Western Digital passport drive, like I did recently, it doesn't work after a bit. So just be careful with them. Sound cards, video cards. I find that the ASUS video cards are great, especially with their NVIDIA or Radeon, the AMD Radeon. It doesn't matter which brand you go for, but depending on some of the spec machines, I usually see most ASUS equipment is matched with Intel hardware and then matched with NVIDIA for graphics cards. For sound cards, rather than using the onboard sound card, find a sound card that plugs into your computer, whether it's USB or physically connected through the expansion card. Have a look at Creative sound cards. ASUS make them and a few other brands make them as well, but Creative seem to have the better versions of them and they seem to have great sound, and that's what you want. If you're buying a decent machine, you want to make sure that you're buying decent equipment so you get longevity out of the hardware, so you don't have to keep replacing them every 2 years. You might want to have the computer last 5 years or longer. It just depends on what you buy and where you buy it from. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with another video.